Recently, I've been trying to frame more and more things from family pictures, original photography, huge canvas art, old college basketball jerseys. And each time I'm over here scouring the internet from different brands, trying to get the dimensions exact, hoping the materials are quality. And that's where FrameBridge steps in and takes away all of the hassle. FrameBridge makes it easy and affordable to custom frame just about anything. You could design and preview your final piece online, schedule to ship your items or drop them off in person, and they're great for giving special gifts to friends and family. Visit framebridge.com or one of their local FrameBridge stores in Southport, West Loop, and River North to start framing. Today on CityCast Chicago, halfway through the summer, and I've got a quick question for you. What Chicago artists are you listening to? Come on, put me on. What albums and songs you got on repeat? What shows are still on your calendar? We've got a summer playlist for you filled with our recent favorites. It's Thursday, July 24th. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is what Chicago's talking about. I am joined by Caroline Patton, the CityCast Director of Growth Marketing and creator and curator of the dope-ass Chicago SoCal. Caroline, welcome back to CityCast Chicago.
Thank you so much. Always happy to be here.
As I was saying up top, one of my favorite things about Summertime Shy is not just the number of music festivals and concerts you can pull up on, but it is a time when a lot of local artists are dropping EPs, albums, singles, really trying to get that buzz going. And so, Caroline, what are some Chicago songs that have been stuck in your head this summer so far?
So I have to start out with probably my favorite single to drop in the summer. So that's going to be Face to Face by Football Head, which they're playing Riot Fest this summer. So they're opening the Sunday day and they're friends of mine. And I love all the music that they put out, but specifically love their new single, Face to Face. So that's been my favorite summer release, but I've not been able to stop listening to this one artist named Janice, who released an album earlier this year. I believe it was in January. And it's like poppy. It's just fun. Like, it didn't come out in the summer, but it almost feels like it could have come out in the summer. And the album's called The Sun Will Come Out.
Similar to you, some of the songs that have been stuck in my head have come out this summer. One in particular was from Vic Mensa and, of course, Mick Jenkins. Every time you've been on the show, we've talked music. You know I'm going to find a place to get my boy Mick in there. Another song that I've been listening to, and it's from Femdot, and it's called Gloves. It's off of his most recent LP, Free Samples 3. I got to see him perform earlier this summer at Novel Pizza over in Pilsen. The entirety of 2025 is Asha Omega. She's an artist that my brother put me on. They did a single on her 2024 project called The Star. The song was called Caption This, but she released a single back in April called First Quarter Warning.
Shit. I'm keeping my eyes on the prize. My niggas, they been organized. Releasing, I'm cutting up ties. Chop up your tongue if it lied to me. I'm taking it to that.
It's something I've been playing all summer long. Caroline, have you been keeping a summer playlist so far?
Basically, I got Spotify, which I'm in the midst right now of transitioning out of Spotify into another streaming service. But yeah, like since the literal day that I got Spotify, which was my junior year of high school, like I've had it for 12 years now.
Ooh.
I think I might have been the first person in East Tennessee to get it. But I do like monthly playlists. So I have like every month from now prior to, October of, it would have been 2012. But yeah, so I have a monthly playlist for each month since then. And so like I don't really have a summer playlist because I don't like curate my playlist based on like vibes. I just curate them based on like what I'm listening to that month. And that could be something that released, or it could be something that, I just have been listening to.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like really appreciate a lot of the releases that have been coming out this year.
I don't necessarily curate playlists season to season or even month to month, but I will say this summer I have been looking for and have been turning to more songs that I could play during a long walk. I've been trying to get in more and more daily walks. I've been in a softball league for the last couple of months, and so I've been trying to build a warm-up playlist for softball, like very similar to things I could play at the gym. And a few songs that have kind of been in rotation the last couple of months have made it in my playlist from Chicago artists include Shawnee Dez, Lullaby the Fire. This just dropped, I want to say at the beginning of the month, one of her first drops in the last couple of years. And she's one of my favorite Chicago artists to watch perform live, whether it's at Tuesdays on the Terrace at the MCA, whether it's at Lincoln Hall. Another song that I've been listening to, I'm so glad I got to watch them perform together earlier this summer, was Rico Shy, Femdot, and Jazz Star. One, let me show some love to Jazz Star. I don't know how many Chicago artists have a feature from Jazz Star over the last couple of years, but she pops up on some of your favorite artists' albums, whether it's Rico, Fem, I mentioned Asha Omega, Freddie Old Soul, Kai I Lee. She's just one of those Chicago artists, Mother Nature, who is just out here and makes every song she is on that much better. And it's always good to watch one of those artists who you first saw like years ago in an open mic in front of like 20 people become such a staple in Chicago music. But Giant Leaps from Rico, Fem, and Jazz. Super P from Mellow Bucks off of Hollywood. That's a song the minute it come on, I can't help. I done heard it at Expat a couple of times, and I love it. What are a couple of songs from your June, July, August that have been in heavy rotation?
Okay, so I'm gonna put you on. Well, maybe
Please
not.
do.
You're very
do.
like, but I'm gonna like give maybe a couple new releases that maybe would not be things that you would gravitate towards. That would be perfect for sure for your walk playlist, for sure. It's a new find for me over the last like year, but this, I think they're a 5-piece band. Anyway, I don't know how many people are in the band, but anyway, Cabeza de Chivo is a rock like psych band almost, based here in Chicago. They just put out their first EP, but they've been playing music forever. I'm really a big fan of Spooky on that new EP. I would also check out the Post Animals' new album hasn't come out yet, but they've been releasing singles over the last couple of months. Another great couple of walking songs, but they're a kind of more popular release over this latest EP is called Last Goodbye. So again, like their old music was a bit more psyche. Now they're going a bit more into like the indie pop rock vibe, but it's like really, really good. It's a really cool transition that I'm kind of excited to see them make.
Okay.
Both are new releases as of the last couple of months. But I'm a big fan of Prosperity Room. He's just kind of been all over the place over the last year, getting really big on TikTok, but doing like really, really incredible DJ sets of the like craziest transitions of pop music you'll ever hear. I think we both grew up in like the 90s, early 2000s, pop, hip hop, like rap scene. It's really fun. And I've seen him he's like playing everywhere in Chicago, I swear, but there's like never a time in which it hasn't been fun. And he doesn't too often like overlap his music. So there's always something new and fresh at each set he's doing. And I'm just like a big fan of the vibe he's been curating over the last year. And I just like love to see people grow and become better. You know what I mean?
One I am newer to. One starting with Sydney August, like an R&B singer, just dropped a project called Damage Control. And two of the songs on there that I've been listening to are Rain and Spin the Block. This is, again, artist I was not familiar with. I've been listening to Roy Kinsey, Dandelion's Gods Don't Cry. Has a single I can't stop listening to. Generations featuring Theezy and one of my favorite Chicago groups, Mother Nature. Another project from a group that some people might not realize also makes music, and that's the Era Footwork Crew. It's arguably Chicago's greatest footwork collective, and they've been dropping single after single this summer, including Get Out, Up featuring Brittany Carter, one of Chicago's best rappers, bar none.
Say you got what I need, show me something then. Know some goofies from around the way, but they just play pretend. Say you got what I need, I just need to see. I need something I can touch, most of this shit just make believe.
They've been dropping some videos to these projects as well. And what I really love about them is, one, they rapping, but two, the beat is still footwork in nature. So you can still dance to the music. You still watch them footwork to the music in the videos. The last two I want to shout out are Rico Shy, Golden featuring Jazz Star. And then my boy Daylight Tone just dropped a 2-single project called Two Tone. I know you've mentioned some songs, some albums that have come out recently, but do you have any others that you want to make sure people don't miss?
I mean, how long do we have? I'm just kidding. There's so much. So if you just kind of like search around for Chicago artists, pretty much all of them are putting out music this summer, I feel like, or have put out music in the last couple of months. I did see Moontype, the band, do their album release show for I Let the Wind Push Down on Me at Empty Bottle a couple of months ago. I've always been a huge fan of Moontype, and the lead singer's voice is just super unique. So I would be remiss not to mention that, because the show is amazing and the album, it really speaks to just like summer vibes.
I'm not gonna lie, that album title, I Let the Wind Push Down on Me.
Yeah.
That's a
I know.
bar.
If that gives you any like sense into kind of their lyricism. And other artists I want to mention, because he's just kind of like a hustler. He just does like the coolest stuff, I feel like, or he's really inventive in the way that he promotes his music, is a rapper called Woes. And he does a lot of like really fun live sets and like really cool random exhibitions. But he just did his like EP release. It wasn't a show, but it was like an EP release party, and he had it at Red Hot Ranch, which, like, if you know, you know. So he's just doing really fun stuff, and his EP is called Dying Thoughts. So those are the two main ones that I went to the release party, and it was just fun time. So I can like kind of speak to the whole experience, not just the album like listening, but the actual live experience. And both of them were amazing. So 2 thumbs up on those.
This episode of CityCast is sponsored by Babbel. Learning a new language opens the door to new friends, new cultures, maybe even a whole new life. So why not start that journey today? You can start speaking a new language with confidence thanks to Babbel's conversation-based technique that quickly teaches you useful words and phrases about the things you actually talk about in the real world. I'm CityCast CEO David Plotz, and I've been learning Spanish with Babbel. Just one of the 12 languages you can learn with it, including Dutch, French, Italian, which is going to be next for me, Turkish, and Russian. I love the interactive dialogues that Babbel has, which allow me to practice what I've learned right away, and also the speech recognition function, which makes sure I'm getting the pronunciation just right, which honestly, usually I'm not. Also, I love that Babbel's lessons always cover actual things that I talk about in the real world, like food, talking to people I've just met, and also food. Staying motivated to learn a new language has never been easier thanks to real-time feedback, progress trackers, and handy visualizations. And only 10 to 15 minutes a day on Babbel's mobile app or website. So get talking with Babbel. I want you to learn another language, so I'm teaming up with Babbel to gift you 55% off subscriptions, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/citycast. Get up to 55% off at babbel.com/citycast. Spelled BABBEL.com/citycast. Babbel.com/citycast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Man, we talked so much about going to see album release parties, concerts, but also it's the summer, and so music festivals are happening every week, every other week. We got Wicker Park Fest this weekend. You got Lolla in a couple of weeks. Are you looking forward to either one of these?
I'm going to both. Always going to both. You know what I mean?
Of course you are. Of course you are. You wouldn't be you if you wasn't on the list.
You know, controversially, whatever, Lollapalooza, people have their opinions about it. Like, whatever it is, it's a good value. Like, let's just be honest. I know it's expensive, but like if you have the money and you want to see 10 artists on a 4-day lineup, then it's worth the money at that point. So I typically always go, even if it's not like my favorite lineup, which I wouldn't say this year is, you know, my favorite lineup I've ever seen, but I'm definitely going. Got to check out Rat Boys there, who's a local Chicago band. They're going to be great, like twangy, country, poppy vibes, and another lead singer that has just a really interesting, like unique voice. So I'm going to Wicker Park Fest. I'm going more so, one of my friends is moving to Portugal, shout out Mel. Love you, girl. Have fun in Portugal. So her going away party is on Friday and we're going to Wicker Park Fest. So I'm checking out Friday. Lay Bump, this DJ collective here in Chicago, and it's another group of people that are just like absolute hustlers, have been doing some of the coolest stuff, like from merch drops to just like really cool experiential shows. They did a almost like boiler room style set in the round at Subterranean, which like if anybody's been to that venue, it's just such a cool thing to do at a venue like that. And so I'm going to check them out later in the night.
I am not going to Lala. There are some names on there that I would absolutely love to see in person. Doechii, Clairo.
Doechii.
Orion Sun.
Can you believe Doechii and Clairo at the same time?
Gee.
Doechii and Clairo at the same time.
That's one of the hardest parts is trying to, I remember we did an episode last year of trying to put together the perfect agenda, perfect schedule for the day. Extremely difficult. One show I am trying to see, it's one of the pre-shows, that's Orion Sun. I love Orion Sun's music so much.
I also love them.
I'm not familiar with all of the artists on Wicker Park Fest, but two acts I would love to see, Lowdown Brass Band and Tima Likes Music. Tima dropped this single earlier this month on the 7th called It Feels Good to Be Sassy. And as soon as it comes on, it feels like New Edition in the 80s or something. Like it's you do not expect to hear that sound come out.
Just ask me, it feels so good, so good. If you wanna know, just ask me, it feels so good to be sassy. You know it.
What day?
8:45 on Saturday.
Okay, perfect.
Of all of the songs we've talked about today, if you were looking for one that maybe most closely feels like summer, that's the one. That's one of the ones that's doing it for me. Are there any other shows, artists that you are looking forward to seeing this summer, whether it's at a festival, at a residency, or, at an album release?
Pivot Gang is doing a pop-up at Blind Barber, which is like crazy to me. I don't know, because I just love them. And I haven't been to Blind Barber, but I think it's pretty small in there. Basically, as an avid concert goer for the last 20 years of my life, like, I love going to shows, don't get me wrong, but I just want something more. Like, I just kind of want something different or unique or eclectic. Like, I'll go to the shows that I love in their kind of typical format. But there's something like seeing Pivot Gang do a DJ set at Blind Barber that's more intriguing to me than, maybe even going to see them at, like, Italia Hall. I don't know why. I just kind of want something different. But also, gotta shout out Buddy Guy's new single release. He's about to do an album release at Buddy Guy's. My probably top 3 favorite music experience I've ever had while living here was seeing Buddy Guy play at Buddy Guy's in his January residency that he does. And so, like, you have to, he's like, to me, like the ultimate Chicago artist. And so he's doing an album release party at his venue. I don't know if he's playing actually, but like, it's just going to be a huge celebration of him, I'm sure. And every time I've been there, it's been such fun energy and just like incredible live music. So those are the 2 upcoming shows that I'm really excited about.
I love that Buddy Guy not only is, riding the energy from last year's tour, but now he's got the Sinners movie hype around him as well, and his cameo at the end of that movie. And so I hope people really turn up and show out for the release. A couple of events I want to remind people of or put people on. Open Aux this Sunday, which again, people can submit their music, chill out with the group, listen to other Chicago artists, discover and find new artists you may not have been familiar with. And that's been a great way to share new music in the city. A show that I like really competes for one of the best shows I've seen this year is Al Scorch's residency at the Hideout.
Okay.
Like, I'm a big fan of Al's music. He hasn't put out like an LP or an album in quite some time, but he's like a Chicago folk singer, plays like banjo and guitar. And every time he sings, it feels like I'm at a storytelling event. Like, he performs this song about finding trash in the alley. and the stories that trash finds as him and his friends as young teenagers are like going through Irving Park and Albany Park, just like dumpster diving. It's one of my favorite like folk songs I've seen perform live. I don't know. He just has this Chicago spirit and this joy about him that he's one of the artists who I've met over the last couple of years, who is just one of my favorite to talk to because his joy is so infectious. People may know him from his Chicago Park District bathroom reviews, but dive a little bit deeper past the reviews, past the Amazing Hot Dog poem, and you're going to find some like both classic but very modern Chicago folk music that I think really draws you in. My favorite lineup coming up over the next couple of weeks has to belong, bar none, to the Bridge benefit concert for Semicolon Books. This is taking place at Lincoln Hall on August 8th. It features Jamila Woods, Shawnee Dez, Senite, Meh, and it's being hosted by the homie Rach Jackson. And so this is an evening celebrating all of the contributions of Semicolon Books, but arguably one of the best lineups you're going to find for, under $40 in the city. Featuring some of my favorite Chicago artists. And then this weekend, Hip Hop Arts and Culture Fest in Bridgeport at the Zoebi Arts Center is going to be great. Rhapsody is going to be there, and Asha Omega, who I've talked about opening up for her alongside a couple of other great Chicago artists. So those are a few shows and events that I'm looking forward to over the next couple of months to kind of continue this great summer of Chicago music. Were there any artists, albums, shows that you didn't get to mention that you do want to put people on before we get out of here?
I can't believe I forgot to talk about Meh. She's like my favorite Chicago artist of last year. I'm like, I can't believe that I like totally slipped my mind. She's literally been, have you seen her live?
I have not seen her live, so I'm really excited for that show. I know she's going to be at Dorian's on Saturday at 9:00 and is also featured at the Bridge at Lincoln Hall on August 8th. But maybe you telling me I need to get over to Dorian's on Saturday.
She plays Dorian's like she's like talk about like a series. I think she's there often. So like if you miss her this Saturday for whatever reason, you would be able, but like, oh my God, her voice is crazy. I'm a Miley Cyrus purist, so she's kind of got like a raspier, like lends itself to pop, lends itself to R&B, lends itself to blues. Like she's so good. Definitely my favorite newer artist in the last couple of years in Chicago. I can't believe I forgot to talk about her, but you brought her up. So that was fate.
Again, if you follow Chicago SoCal, if you follow The Real Ones, if you are in any way connected to Chicago music, you already know there was no way we was going to be able to get to everybody or even all of our faves in this conversation. I want to give a huge thank you to the CityCast Director of Growth Marketing and the creator of the Chicago SoCal, Caroline Patton. Thank you for making time, my friend.
Thanks, everyone. Shout out to Jacoby.
I've talked a lot about music events today, but I'm going to close with a couple more, including the I Breathe Real Music Showcase at Color Club in Irving Park, featuring some great Chicago talent like Linda Soul, Akira Ray, Sydney August, and more. Also, this weekend, Expat May Be the Move. They got Girls Night Out on Friday and then Slow Jams on Saturday, so you might catch me up in there. As always, we appreciate you for listening and reading. We're going to be back bright and early tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. Peace.